It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for the Walking Dead universe. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a very interesting topic. Are Jadis and Rick allies or enemies? Or are we going to see a scenario where they're going to go from being allies to being enemies? And how is that going to work? Stay tuned, we'll be right back to break it all down. Alright, as always, before we jump into this, smash that like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's get right into it. So obviously at this point, all we know about Jadis and Rick's relationship is that Jadis saved Rick and they were taken to the CRM. What we also know is years after Jadis spent time at the Civic Republic, in the CRM, she rose to power at the Civic Republic military, being the Warrant Officer Stokes of the Civic Republic military. So it definitely appears that she has gained some level of power at the Civic Republic in the military. Now, the big question is, what is Rick's situation now? Obviously, we don't know that. We're going to have to wait and find out. There's a possibility that they're going to go a direction where he has some sort of a high ranking at the CRM, similar to Jadis. But obviously, there's going to be things that are slightly different where Rick stands and where Jadis stands. We'll come back to that in just a little bit. But obviously, going into the CRM, both Rick and Jadis are gonna be allies. There's a few reasons for that. One is that there's still some sort of trust between them, although they've had their history and Jadis used to be the enemy, but then when she joined the survivors, she gained the trust of the survivors. So I think early on, during their Civic Republic stay, both of these characters are gonna be allies, and I think for the most part they're gonna try to work together to get used to where they are and to learn about the place and kind of find out how to survive in this new environment. And this is the second reason why I think they're gonna be working together pretty closely and kind of helping each other along the way, because they're in a new place, in a place that's very organized and structured, and a place where the weak don't necessarily survive long. If they do, they're gonna be civilians. They're not gonna be given any type of position to make the place better or to work towards making the place better. But I think as the time is gonna go on, we're gonna see a split in both of their ideologies. And I think that at some point they're gonna part ways. On one hand, Rick is gonna be in a position where even though he has some sort of a position at the CRM, he is trying his best to do things the way that he feels things should be done. Most likely similar to the way that he has been running Alexandria. But it's gonna become increasingly difficult for him to be able to achieve that, because of obviously all of the politics, because of the bureaucracy at the CRM. All of those things are gonna come together to make Rick realize that he needs to do something to change things, and he has to do something big. And I think that's what's gonna lead Rick to go in a direction where he's gonna try to build a coalition from inside of the CRM to fight back. Obviously secretly, until he has the manpower to be able to do some real damage. But on the flip side of that, what we're probably going to see with Jadis is a situation where she's going to increasingly become more and more like what we know her as, which is taking advantage of any opportunity she sees and kind of only worrying about herself. And I think the more she dives into that attitude, the more that the Civic Republic military is going to see her as a true believer. And the more that that happens, they're gonna give her some level of power to not only kind of keep her around and keep her a believer, but also to keep her busy in a way. Obviously, if you get high enough and if you're a true believer, then you're gonna be one of the elites at the CRM and given more chances to actually make decisions and kind of have the real power. But what I think that the Civic Republic military is gonna do to people like Jadis is make them think that they have the power and in a way have them as puppets, where in reality you're the one that's really making the decisions. When this type of situation happens, there's gonna be even more divide between Rick and Jadis, and slowly they're gonna part ways and they're gonna become more or less enemies and not so much so allies like they were originally. But I don't think that that's gonna lead to a physical conflict between the two or anything of that nature. They're not gonna fight each other. They're not gonna shoot at each other. They're not gonna try to kill the other. But what I think we're gonna see is Rick is not gonna trust Jadis. He's gonna try to keep things on the inside and not let Jadis in on anything. And on the flip side, Jadis is gonna try to manipulate Rick into giving her information and revealing what he's up to so that she could expose him and potentially be rewarded for that. Now, when it comes to how that story is gonna end, I feel like there's only two ways that could go. Either at some point, Jadis is gonna have a realization that she's on the wrong side and flip over to the good side, just like she sort of did initially during all that war between Negan, the Saviors, and Rick and the Survivors, which is obviously repetitive if they go that route. The other direction is that she's gonna stay a true believer and kind of become that real believer that the CRM wants her to be and kind of fight alongside the CRM against the Survivors, which I think is gonna most likely end with her getting killed in some sort of way, and it'll probably be Rick Grimes himself who ends up doing the deed himself. But I'm definitely extremely interested to know your thoughts and opinions about this. Do you think that we're gonna see Rick and Jadis go from being allies to being enemies as the time goes on? And we're obviously gonna see that in the movies most likely. Or do you think that they're gonna go a slightly different route? So share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.